Hello, my name is David. We are Crashpad, and we are on a mission of growing the next generation of climbing athletes. So how did this project come about? Me and my climbing buddies, as we are climbing in Malta and we are pushing our limits, we have discovered that there are no facilities to push yourself to the next level when it comes to grades and when it comes to challenging yourself. So the facilities which are here in Malta are super limited. There is one small wall and one small gym, and everything is very low quality, and the feeling of the community is that there isn't enough resources and facilities. At the same time, when we travel to do climbing, we can see the climbing gyms abroad, which are bursting with people, everybody getting stronger, the community is super happy and enjoying the community aspect of climbing. The whole market is actually booming worldwide. In the last few years and the next few years, it has been growing at 10% CAGR. Indoor bouldering specifically is growing at an even faster rate of 20%, and this is what we will be focusing on. So this is an industry which is booming super well. Crashpad is going to be a world-class health, fitness, and community hub. You can see the layout of the space at the background, and we will be having not only just climbing gym, but we're going to have a whole, let's say, health and fitness hub. This is the climbing wall, which is an Olympic level climbing wall. It's the same wall which was used in Paris 2024 and it's going to be used in LA 2028. But not only climbing, we're going to have yoga, Pilates, stretching, mobility. We're going to have strength and conditioning coaches. We're going to have physiotherapy. We have a healthy cafe with a chill zone, work area, co-working space, community area. We have gym and weight area so that you don't have to get a different subscription, sauna and ice bath, so it's a whole area, whole facility. I'd like to take a minute to show you what the climbing part is going to be looking like. In the meantime, I want to talk a little bit about partnerships. Although the facility is actually super important, the partnerships, when it actually comes to the success of the business, is critical. So we've partnered with a number of international and local partners just to make sure that they can actually help us out. Let's say for the yoga, we're going to partner with Island Yoga. For the cafe, with somebody who's actually expert in a cafe. For the physiotherapy, we have a specific provider with excellencies in physiotherapy. Also for the climbing balls and everything is going to be with a partnership, just to make sure that we are on the right track. In terms of the climbing itself, we're going to have a kids area which is separate from the adult area. So basically, it's going to be safe for kids, ready for birthday parties and group events, just to make sure that it's all ready to go. When it comes to the team, we are climbers, we are super passionate climbers, so essentially, but not only that, the team has a skill set to actually build this business. We have Sean, who is a civil engineer, studied and worked in the UK for a long time. He's been a climbing coach for the past few years, and he's one of the strongest climbers in Malta. Balash, who has been also in the financial industry, has had multiple C-level roles in the financial industry, 20 years of climbing. And myself, I have 20 years background in IT, digital marketing, product. I have an agency called 7 Figures, and I've started climbing quite a few years back. But the most important part is we are super passionate about climbing. These are some of the partners which I mentioned before. One of the things, for example, is the Association of British Climbing Walls. So these are going to help us give the expertise that we need to actually run the business. And NICAS will be something that we can actually use to have bouldering certifications and progressions which are at an international level. When it comes to the investment, so far we have secured 1.4 million euro and through various funding vehicles, and we're looking for an additional 500,000. When it comes to investor benefits, there's the first mover advantage because we're going to be the first one who has a proper climbing facility in Malta. We are projecting a growth of 6.5%, which is very conservative given that the market is booming. We project 1 million euro revenue in the first 12 months of operation. We're a cash flow positive, we'll be in cash flow positive from year 2. In general, climbing gyms break even in a very short time, usually within 18 to 24 months. And obviously, early bird investors are going to have the long-term gains of brand loyalty and expansion. I think it's the best time to use the term onwards and upwards. Thank you.
So the funding that you're gathering, the funds will be used, I assume, to build the gym.
So it's going to be partially for CapEx and partially also for the initial few months of running gym. We have some funding which is EU-based, which will come in, won't come right now. It will come in a few months' time. So there is just that term where we need a bit of a bridge loan or bridge funding, let's say.
And what about the timeline? I mean, where you're at, when you'll be...
So we just got the planning permit in May. We just started construction right now. We plan to open in September. And we're opening, let's say, probably the campaign July, August, something like that.
Thank you.
You talk about 1 million revenue in year one.
Yes.
Based on how many customers?
We are looking at having approximately 100 users per day in the climbing gym alone. But then we have various additional sources of revenue. So we have, like we said, there's the cafe, there's the yoga, there's the ice bath and sauna, there's the physiotherapy. All of these are revenue shared. So we're not just outsourcing everything completely. We have a part in the revenue which they generate. So we are actually making it in a way that we actually push their services and they push ours. So let's say with the monthly memberships, you start with the basic climbing gym membership, and then you have an additional, let's say, we can have add-ons with strength conditioning, or with yoga, or with stretching, or with the various different aspects, obviously, of the business. In terms of the actual revenue, besides monthly memberships and day passes, we are going to focus very, very aggressively on the group-based services, so team building, birthday parties, students, especially tourists and something like that. We are already building partnerships with people locally, just to make sure that the moment we go, that we open, we start bringing people not only in the evening, where let's say it's the single people who come to the business in the afternoon, but at the off-peak hours, we want to fill the space with, let's say, these corporate events and these team building events, which get good numbers super spread.
And once you've got the first one up and running, then what?
Well, hopefully we have more, let's say, branches first in Malta, then, I don't know, hopefully abroad. Obviously, abroad, the industry is already super competitive. There are 20,000 gyms worldwide, which is why we see this as a huge opportunity for Malta, because there is literally no gyms. But yes, we also have a phase 2 plan, so we're going to actually starting with indoor bouldering, which is say 4.5 meters high. But the idea is to actually, we have the facility already which supports the next phase. So we want to actually have higher walls of at least 15 meters, so that we can actually not just have indoor bouldering, but also indoor sports climbing, which is essentially just slightly different from indoor bouldering, but also a niche in itself, which caters also for older people, as in my agent before.
It's good to know that it's also available for older people who can get their cars.
Look at it.
Just one question, where is going to be, what municipality?
So it's going to be in the central business district. It's a few hundred meters down from here. If you're familiar with the area, it's close to the HSBC main office.
Now, this is a serious technical question. How about parking? Are we going to have any parking space?
We are actually going to have parking space.
Oh, good.
Otherwise, it would have been super hard to actually.
It's a big plus to the scholarship, parking space in Malta.
The thing is, it's not only that, but our peak hours are going to be after hours. Because it's an industrial area, the industry actually goes away from 4 p.m. onwards, so the parking isn't really a problem in the area.
Just a quick question with regard to kids. You said it caters to kids, right?
Yes, caters for kids.
And you're going to be able to allow parents to drop kids off and spend time there being unsupervised by the parents themselves?
Well, they can do both, so they can actually, you know, stay there with the
Yes,
kids.
no,
but
because
then-
there's added value that I'm asking because for me there's added value to be able to drop the kids off.
Yes, yes, that is yes, there is definitely going to be that. But seriously, there's going to be coaches, supervisors, training professionals to actually stay with the kids. We actually plan to have things like summer kids camps, you know, all of this stuff, so that you actually drop off your kids, come for them 3-4 hours later, and obviously the kids are tired, and you can actually have your fun. You can actually stay at the cafe and, you know, enjoy yourself at the cafe.
No, I think that's very interesting.
Get back to the car, you have the first providers.
Yes, sure.
Just one more question, because on the presentation I'm seeing you're mentioning, okay, numbers into the US market. Do you have any numbers? Obviously, you're starting in Malta.
Yes.
Would you have any numbers apart from the revenue of the market size and of potential users of the climbing gym, etc.?
Yes. So in general, let's say we can gauge this from, let's say, the interest in communities. So the interest in communities in Malta, there are about 5,000, 6,000 people in Facebook groups, which is already quite a big number for us. But in general, the whole population is about 350,000, the people we can actually target. Out of those, there are about 20,000 people who are youth, then there is about 150,000 people who are 16 to 18-year-olds, and then we have the older generations, which let's say up to 40 years old, which are about 300,000 people. Obviously, we are not going to get all of those, but we can definitely make the numbers work. The thing is with climbing is that it is a very community-based sport. So there is this virality effect that once people start coming, the word spreads around quickly, and people bring people, you know, so the word of mouth. The thing is, the sport hasn't grown because there hasn't been the facilities. Literally, in every country we go,